And there's a tension now between the executive branch. There's traditionally a tension, but there's a tension now that is quite pronounced between the executive branch and the courts about what the role of judges is. Is it to just decide questions of law? Is it to decide questions of law and fact, or is it to stay out of the way? And it is traditional for courts to present some measure of deference to the president and especially to the president on matters of national security. The question is how much. And I would commend to the audience the recent decision by Judge Immergut in the Federal District Court for Oregon in Portland, Oregon, where she made it clear that while she would afford some deference to the executive branch, she would nevertheless require that there be a colorable assessment of the facts and the law within a range of honest judgment. So she would defer, but there had to be a colorable assessment of the facts and the law within a range of honest judgment to which she would defer.
And Jamie, I just point out she was appointed by President Trump in his
She was
first term.
appointed by President Trump, and she had worked for independent counsel Ken Starr. There was no question about her bona fides as, let me restate that, she cannot be properly labeled an activist leftist judge, which of course we don't have in the United States. We just have federal judges. So that's one tension. Another tension is who decides the law. And as everybody in this room knows, since 1803, thanks to John Marshall, the courts ultimately have decided what is the law. That's Marbury v. Madison. But what we're seeing now is a debate over who ultimately decides the law in the executive branch, and is that determination free of the judiciary's determination? That's a fundamental question about how law works in the United States. It's not a political comment, it's an observation about what is going on. One of the things Judge Immergut said was that we live in a country of constitutional law, not martial law. And one of the core issues that's been put on the table recently is the question presented by the Posse Comitatus Act and by one of the founding principles of the Constitution is what role, if any, should the United States military, active and guard, play in civil affairs? And this is a question that is being debated in the courts, decided in the courts, reviewed in the courts, and it's a question that will continue on.